Hello, thank you for joining me. So in this video, which is our video number 6 in our series on how to put together configurations, design tables, and the equations, this is our second video on the design tables, and what I'd like to do with the design tables now that we have the thing created is we're going to go ahead and make changes to the design table. So let's go ahead and do this. I'm going to show you how easy it is to do and some of the steps involved in regard to doing it. The desire with the design table is to use some of the automation features associated with Excel, this Excel document, and be able to use that in order to create configurations in just a fraction of the time it would take to do otherwise. So let's right click. There's a couple things that we can do. If you right click in the design table when you open up the table section of your configuration manager, you notice you have an opportunity to edit the feature, and that gives you the same options that you had before. Or you can go back and edit the table. And what that does is it opens up the table in SolidWorks that we saw before too. And of course, if you just click off to the side, it goes ahead and it automatically closes that table. A third option over here is edit the table in a new window. And you could also save it outside of Excel too if you want to do that. But if you edit the table in a new window, what it does is it opens it up elsewhere. So here it is in the background. I'm going to go ahead and okay. I'm going to maximize it and then kind of pull it in front of the screen. Okay, let's. Where are you? It's like sitting there behind it. Alright, let's get that out of there. Let's see if we can bring that to the front. There we go. Oh man, it shouldn't be this hard. But anyways, I'm just trying to get it in front of the screen so you can see what I'm doing. There we go. We kind of blew it up a little bit. Now, if you remember in the last video, we described what each one of these sections stands for. But let's go ahead and create a brand new configuration just by using some of the information we have. So I'm going to go ahead and copy this. And if you highlight this with the left mouse button and drag it all the way down to that corner and grab this end square down here and pull that down, what it does is it copies those cells and brings them down. Let's start from the left to the right, and let's go ahead and change some of these values. So we're going to change that from the 1 5-inch lever and a 5-inch no lever, from the 4-inch lever and 4-inch no lever. We'll do the same thing for these other cells. We're going to change everything that says 4 to 5, and change some of the values that are associated with that too. So we're going to make sure this is already done automatically, or the parent of this 5-inch no lever is the 5-inch lever. We will make sure that this cell is equivalent to that cell. And the dimension 3 of sketch number 1 is now going to be 5 inches rather than 4 inches. We're going to go ahead and change that. And this is going to be 6 holes rather than 5 holes. And all the other elements are going to stay the same. So now we're going to go ahead and close this. We'll pull this over and go to that X. Okay, go to the big red X. That should close it. It tells us the configurations it already made for us. 5-inch lever and 5-inch no lever. Bang, automatically populates it in our configuration. So if we click on that, as long as we did it right, there we have it. Let's try that one more time. Let's edit the table. Let's edit the table in a new window just like we did before. And I'm going to maximize that and bring that in view again. Let's do something a little bit more fun. I'm going to take this, I'm going to move it off to the side, and this is this cell. What you do is you highlight the whole cells area, the cells that you want to highlight, and if you take your cursor and rest it over that black line that represents that, we're going to go ahead and pull that off to the side, and we're going to take this 5-inch lever, and we're going to move that down a little bit. We're going to change some of the values to inside the 5-inch lever. We're going to make that 6-inch. What we're going to do is we're going to create a whole bunch of the ones that are the primary configuration, then we're going to create a bunch of the ones that are part of the derived configuration. We're going to do that second. So now that we have the 5-inch lever and 6-inch lever, we're going to go ahead and copy that down to maybe about 20 of them. Pretty easy. So I'm going to make this a little bit smaller so we can get some more information in here. We're going to do the same thing here with a 5-inch no lever. We're going to copy that over, copy that down, and do the same thing. We're going to make that 6-inch. And change the appropriate parameters for that. I'm going to move this over just a little bit. I'm going to try to move that over. So I'm not going to be able to get my cursor up there, but for some reason it's giving me kind of a scientific notation for that number, which is kind of irrelevant right now, so I'm going to go ahead and ignore it. So the parent value of this is 5-inch lever and then 6-inch lever, so that works out okay. And then the values over here should be the same. You should match that. So if I go ahead and pull that down and copy that, I'm going to make that all go all the way up to 20. So I'm going to pull that down to 19 and then 20. And there we have it. So what it's going to do is it's going to maintain the same orientation it has over here in Excel. It's going to maintain that. It's not going to rearrange our furniture. But when we go ahead and close this out, it's going to create all those different configurations for us. It's very easy to do. These are all the configurations and derived configurations that it created for us. So we have a 6-inch lever to 20-inch lever, and then 6-inch lever to 15-inch no lever. And then there's more actually, so if we want to say we want to see more, it goes from 16 to 20-inch no lever. And go to OK. So here's our table, populated all out. So we go all the way from 2 to 20, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, up here to 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, and then it skips out and goes to 20. There is kind of a problem with Excel and the way it gets imported over here, and if you want to go ahead and change it, you can. Let's go ahead and edit that table into a new window like we did before, and just kind of show you what I mean here. If you want to make sure that this gets ordered correctly, what we want to do is type a 0 in front of these single-digit numbers. That way, the Excel is considering all the configurations, or considering all the double-digit digits that represent those numbers there. So we would have to do that for 3, 4, and 5, and 6. I'm only going to do a couple of these for demonstration and show you what it does. But we also want to make sure that the parent over here is also consistent with that. So we want to make sure the 2-inch, the 3-inch, and 4-inch are referring now to 02, 03, and 04. So once we do that, again, we're going to close this out. I already created these configurations for us, and it's deleting these. So what it is, it created the new configurations. We no longer have those old configurations. It's going to go ahead and get rid of those. But it says active configuration can't be deleted. Oh, I don't know why I did that, but here we go. We have 2, 3, 4, and we have old-fashioned 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 down here. So what we changed got changed, and what didn't get changed were the ones we didn't change. So it actually works out. So if you want to correct that error, that's how you do it. It might be important and useful to remember that before you put these things together. So that's configurations in a nutshell. Conceivably, using automation features with Excel in the design table, you can create an innumerable amount of variations once you get this thing set up correctly in a matter of minutes. And can you imagine having to do all these configurations by hand and the potential errors associated with that because of the tedium of the work involved? This is a real big automation feature, and it's something you should take advantage of if you can. So thank you for joining me. In the next video, we're going to talk about equations.